So I got a parcel today, and this one I'm blaming on my friend Vanessa. Vanessa, I know you're probably watching this. This is all your fault. You're going to get lots of people hooked on this, I'm quite sure. But my friend Vanessa is a costume designer for theatre, and we were chatting the other day about some of the things I make and stuff, and she was talking about how they add, diamonds and pearls onto things. And I'm like, it's really great, but it takes too long for me. I haven't got the patience. I get bored halfway through. My brain wanders off on something else. And she says, "Oh, have you tried hot stoning?" No, I haven't tried hot stoning. Oh, she said you should give it a go. It's really good. And then she explained it to me. And as a result, yeah, I got a hot stoning kit because this sounds absolutely amazing. And I really, really, really want to give this a go. And I thought I'd share it with you. So this set has arrived with a number of spare diamonds as well. So these are like little clear ones. These are sort of multicoloured sparkly ones. They're really nice, aren't they? They're a bit naughty. And then there's lots of different colours in here. There's blues and purples and yellows and reds. And they're all slightly different sizes as well, I think, in this set. And then you've got a pencil. This is designed to help you figure out where you're going to put your diamond and kind of hold it in place. And a set of tweezers. Again, it's just for picking them up and moving them around. And then the next thing we come to is the actual applicator itself. So the idea is that you take your little diamante thing and you put it on the fabric or whatever you want to stick it to, hold it in place, and then you use this special applicator with a suitable end for the diamonds, because you see there's lots of different sized ends in here for different sized little diamante pieces. And you just hold it on top of the diamond for up to 15 seconds. And there's glue underneath the bottom of these diamonds. I say there's some more in here. There's glue on the bottom, and it melts the glue underneath, and then that will stick to whatever you want the diamante to go onto. I mean, I don't know how well they wash. I should imagine it's more of a dry clean only sort of thing if you're doing those kind of designs. But I think, it looks pretty damn cool. So in this set, there's some of the spare white pencils like you saw with the other diamantes. There's a little wire brush. I'm guessing that's for cleaning everything off when you've done. A set of tweezers, pink tweezers to match the pink applicator, and this is what you screw your ends into. Let me just pull that out of the way. So this is what gets really, really hot, and you put these ends into, screw them in. It gets hot, and then it will melt the glue. And then there's a little stand, because obviously when you're using this, you want to put it on its stand between gluing your diamonds so you don't end up making a hole in anything, and obviously also while it cools down. It also comes with a leaflet with all the instructions in on how to use it. The English in this is interesting. It's obviously translated from somewhere, but welcome to the interesting world of free creation from staple gun. Why would you use a staple gun? I'm not sure. Here your creativity will no longer be limited by your tools. Let your imagination fly and enjoy hours of decoration, furniture, and hands-on production fun. Well, I know already, looking at this kit and having talked to Vanessa about it, this is going to make a big difference to some of my upcycle products and playing around with things, because, a bit of bling. Who doesn't like a bit of bling? So basically in this little booklet, it tells you about the applicator. It tells you the different tips on what sizes diamantes you should be using, or size pearls or hotfix things you should be using with each of the tips. So select the appropriate size tips for the corresponding size of rhinestone. It is recommended to select the size of tip according to the size of rhinestone. Do not select the tip that is larger than the size of the rhinestone. And the rhinestone should be completely covered by the tip. So I think each of these tips, or each of these rhinestones, do they have a size on them? No, I think there's going to be a bit of a guesstimate here, because these should have little sizes on them, but they don't. I know when you order new rhinestones, you order them by size, so you're going to have more of an idea of what size everything is. So I will have a play in a minute and find suitable tips for these, and then we're going to have a practice. But let's go through this leaflet a bit more together. So it says, we've got a 12-slot rhinestone box with 10 colours of rhinestone. And here it also tells me what rhinestones I've got in here. So there's pink ones that are 2mm, yellow that's 2mm, purple at 2mm, crystal white at 4mm, crystal white at 3mm, and crystal white at 2mm. And then we've got red at 2mm, dark blue at 3mm, gold at 3mm, light blue at 2mm, and then then the green at 2mm, light green at 2mm, sorry, and a dark green at 2mm. So I think because there's a lot of 2mm rhinestones, just for practicing this, I'll stick a 2mm tip into this, and we'll see how well it works. So this, I'll pick this one up because this one's already sharpened. It's a rhinestone picker pen. So apparently you can use this to pick the rhinestones up and get them into place. And then obviously due to the thermal effects, you've got to be careful that the glue and the rhinestone has not fixed and stuck to the pen instead. That sounds interesting. At work, due to the thermal effects when the glue and the rhinestone is not fixed, if you use the pen to move it, the lead on the pen may be melted. Nice, so you're going to melt your pencil, basically. But that's okay, you just wind it down. And obviously it tells you about the jewel tweezers, which is pretty obvious, use it to pick them up. Cleaning brush, again for cleaning the applicators off when you've done, and the support stand so you don't like melt wherever you're working or burn a hole in something. So yeah, so it looks pretty simple. So shall we give this a go? So I have here a bit of scrap denim that I've got lying around. I've pulled out of a cupboard because I've got denim all over the place, to be fair, in here. We've got to think which diamantes we want to use. I was saying the 2mm one, so let's have a look in a little book. Ooh, shall we go with the 2mm whites or the 2mm reds, or maybe a mixture of both? Let's see. So let me open this up. These are little tiddly things, aren't they? And then we need the right nozzle for the 2mm applicator, and I believe it will be, should have it on. So let's have a look. It's going to be the smallest one, isn't it, on here? Let me just get my reading glasses. Hang on. That's better. The joys of getting older. You can't actually see what you're doing. So 2mm should be marked as a 6SS, I believe. So let's pop these out. Let's have a look. What's that one? Well, that's flat, so that's definitely not it. That is a completely flat one. That's for, I'm guessing it's 4mm because it says hotspot. Oh no, sorry, 9. No, that's going to be a 4mm flat because this is flat as well. The 9mm one, but that ain't 9mm. That's a 9mm flat, so we'll chuck that one back in there. What we got here? Yeah, that's the one we want. 2mm 6SS. I'm just going to put that on there for now. Put these ones away so we don't lose them, because little doddly things, if you're not careful, you're going to lose them. It might be worth either just keeping everything in the original box, or if you're like me and boxes fall to bits pretty quick, getting a new box in the future. But for now, I'll pop them in there. Let me move some of this rubbish out of the way. So this should just screw on the end of there like that. Nice and easy. I'm guessing it's just sort of finger tightness. Yeah. Okay, so that's on there. And we're going to get some 2mm rhinestones out. And then I'm going to put this to warm up a little bit before we try and use it. Will this pencil pick the rhinestones up? Let's have a feel. Yay! Woo! Look at that. And then you can just dab it on. Let's pick those up, put them where we want them. This is quite good. It works if the rhinestone is the correct way up. I think if the rhinestone, it does pick them up the other way around. But then you're going to need your tweezers to flip them over. That's it. Don't know how well you can see these tiny little diamonds. Let me zoom you in a bit. Whoop. Yeah. You see those little sparkles? The little 2mm diamantes on here. So let's get a few more out of this box, and then we'll put the applicator to heat up. Alright, so there's a few. Let's see how we go with those. So I've plugged the applicator in. It says leave it for 2 to 3 minutes so it gets nice and hot. It says if you want to warm larger size rhinestones, let it warm up for a little bit longer, which is understandable because it's thicker and it's a bigger rhinestone. So let's just let that heat up. If you are using this, please be very careful that you don't burn yourself. Put it somewhere you're not going to put your hand on it or your elbow on it. And also keep it out of the reach of small people, because we all know what they're like. Oh, shiny, grab, fry the hand. Because it is like a hot iron at the end of the day. It's almost, I would say it's based on a soldering iron. So let's warm that up. Let's get that nice and hot, and let's see how well these rhinestones stick. Right, so the applicator is really nice and hot now. So it says press this on top of the diamante and hold it for 5 to 8 seconds. So I'm going to put it on there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and 7 and 8. Ooh, that's stuck to the actual applicator. Ow, that is hot. Oh, and now it's stuck. Yeah, it stuck to the applicator, and then it stuck to my finger, and then it stuck to the fabric. So yeah. So I think maybe hold it for a little bit longer. Let me do some of these other ones. Okay, that's got stuck in the end of there. We're doing well here, folks. We're doing well here. Oh, has it dropped out? No, it's still there. Okay, let's try again. Right, so I think what the problem was, I haven't got it on a hard surface underneath. Fingers crossed. Let's try again. Ooh, that one's stuck. Fine. I'm going to get all these stuck on. Sometimes you just have to give them a little nudge when you take the applicator off it, just to get it into position a little bit, because they do move a little bit, and then obviously with the heat sometimes they're flipping back over, and then obviously they're sticking gluey side up, but once you get it on the fabric it then sticks down. So I think with this it's all going to be about knack and technique, to be fair. That one's got stuck again. Let's flip it over, press it onto the fabric. I can see where this is the point where the tweezers would be useful, which would mean you've got to have like 10 different arms. But yeah, I'm just going to press those down, let them cool, and we're going to see how well they're stuck on there. So those little tiny diamonds are now stuck on pretty dang solid. Vanessa Christian, you naughty, naughty, naughty girl. What have you got me into? That's all I'm going to say. There will be a knack to this, and time and technique will build, I'm sure. My cutting mat underneath is fine. Maybe when I do more or a larger project, I might actually put a piece of wood or something, so I know the heat from the tool isn't going to go through and melt my cutting mat. I did not think about that to start with. Thankfully, it's not happened, but when I did pick this up, this was quite warm. So yeah, if you want to find a new way of putting little diamantes on things and adding a bit of bling to your projects, hot stoning is definitely the way to go. These are so quick and easy. Could you imagine if you got to sew these on individually? It would probably drive you completely insane. But with this, you can arrange them and then just press them down and hold them in place, and you've got a little bit of sparkle, you've got a little bit of bling on your project. How cool is that? So yeah, folks, this is the Hotfix diamante fixing kit, rhinestone fixing kit. I think this is absolutely amazing. I can see where I'm going to be using this, probably too much, to be fair. You can get spare diamonds and diamantes off Amazon or eBay. This was sent to me with some extra diamonds and things over here. I'm guessing these came from Amazon originally, all this set. I had a quick look online. You can buy them for around sort of £20, or you can go on Vinted and find them for a lot less, or even have a look on eBay. There's lots of different brands. This is a Hotfix one. This is the one that Vanessa in particular said to try. So yeah, it's really good. This is going to get me into a lot of mischief, I can see. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed. If you've got any questions, drop me a comment below. You guys take care, and I look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Subscribe. 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 Subscribe.